The St. Louis Cemetery in New Orleans, opening in 1789 to replace the St. Peter Cemetery, which burned in 1788, with more than 100,000 people buried in the section of land about the size of a block. You'd expect a few of them might have a little unfinished business. The tomb that tends to attract the most attention is that of Marie Laveau, the famous voodoo priestess. People mark 3 X's on her tomb, believing that doing so will cause her to grant them a wish. The Resurrection Cemetery in Chicago. You may have heard this ghost story before. Many years ago, a girl was walking home one night after a dance. She was hit and killed by a speeding car and has spent the last 80 years hitchhiking to the cemetery. When a kind driver accepts and pulls up to drop her off at the gates, she vanishes. In Chicago, this girl is called Resurrection Mary. Many people have reported seeing her or almost hitting her in the road, and some people have even claimed to have picked her up. Although it sounds like an urban legend, there may be some truth to it. In 1927, a girl named Anna Norquist did die in a car accident on her way home from the O. Henry Ballroom on that same road. The Westminster Presbyterian Churchyard in Baltimore. Also known as the resting place of Edgar Allan Poe, it is considered to be one of the scariest graveyards in America. Poe's ghost has been spotted, of course, but another scary story is that of the Cambridge skull. Rumor is that a minister was murdered, you see, but his head never stopped screaming, even after he died. The murderers finally gagged his skull and buried it in a block of cement to attempt to muffle it, but it is said that if you listen closely, it can still be heard. And if you're one of the lucky ones to hear it, the story goes that you'll never get the sound out of your head, and will likely be driven insane. Boot Hill, Tombstone, Arizona. Those who have dared to go exploring Boot Hill have described seeing very unfriendly spirits around this place. It is believed that many of those buried here have links to the famous gunfight at the OK Corral involving the Earp brothers, Doc Holliday, and the Clayton Gang. Once, a tourist was taking a picture of his friend who was dressed in Old West gear at Boot Hill Cemetery, and they claimed that they didn't notice anything out of the ordinary. But once the film was developed, the photo revealed a man in a cowboy hat who appears to be rising out of the ground. The Stoll Cemetery, Kansas. The Stoll Cemetery and the abandoned church that rests next to it are located in the tiny, almost forgotten Kansas town of Stoll. There's not much left of this small town except for a few houses, the newer church, and about 20 residents. However, the population of this place allegedly contains a number of residents that are from beyond this world. In addition to its human inhabitants, this town is also home to a number of legends and strange tales that are linked to the crumbling old church and the overgrown cemetery. They can be found atop Stoll's Emmanuel Hill. For years, stories of witchcraft, ghosts, and supernatural happenings have surrounded the old graveyard. It is a place that some claim is one of the 7 gateways to hell. I hope you enjoy these haunted graveyards. For more info, please check the links in the description below. Be sure to leave a comment and like and subscribe for more content.